on Iraq. Does that mean that bin Laden is out of touch with world events and possibly his own terror organization? Joining us now to talk about it, the former governor of Virginia, James Gilmore. He also chaired, as you know, a congressional advisory panel to assess domestic response capabilities for terrorism. Governor Gilmore, thank you very much for joining us. As we look at the situation in Pakistan and we understand that this new tape, whether it's an audio, video recording, we're not yet sure, comes out and doesn't mention it. What does it say about bin Laden?
Well, I think that it just shows you the big picture issue here. We're dealing with bin Laden. He's trying to address the Iraq issue and how he wants to address Iraq. Meanwhile, you've got this major ongoing crisis here in Pakistan. As you know, I have traveled to Pakistan. I've been to Islamabad. I've been to Lahore. I've visited with most of the government officials in Pakistan. And I think that that's the crisis moment. The other issue, the ongoing issue with Iraq and Osama bin Laden, it certainly shows that Osama bin Laden is not even aware of this Pakistan situation when he was making that tape. He probably made it even before the assassination.
If he found refuge along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border and the instability in Pakistan increases over these next few days and weeks, would he be on the move?
It depends. Probably not, actually. I think that the danger that we face in Pakistan is that fundamentalist Islamists will try to take over that government either through street protests or even through other types of vehicles. And that's why I urge that we continue with these elections, that the parliament continue to be elected, that we focus on the rule of law and the constitutional processes in Pakistan. America has a great deal of influence with this ally, and we should urge that the institutions of freedom and democracy continue to be maintained intact despite this terrible assassination. There's nothing wrong with an international investigation either. They might think that they look weak if they do that, but they can call on international institutions to participate, Interpol and others, to participate in this investigation. And the people who did this assassination, I would urge that the government make it a national priority to bring them to justice in order to demonstrate to the people of Iraq that the rule of the gun is not the right thing, the rule of law is.
It's actually looking more and more unlikely that they will ask for help in the investigation from outside of Pakistan, and perhaps that's a shame. As these messages come out, and al-Qaeda certainly has increased not just from bin Laden but Zawahiri and his messages. If the messages aren't about relevant topics, does that mean the network is not continuing to recruit and build?
It may mean that, but I think that these tapes are a distraction from the main point. United States policy has to continue to focus on the complex nature of this, the fact that the military is in charge primarily in Pakistan, and we have to move it more to a democracy, that people in the intelligence community in Pakistan have had relations with the Taliban and through them into al-Qaeda. We have to bring a new day into Pakistan, and America has to urge that through its influence. And one more point, this loose nukes issue is a very serious problem in Pakistan. The Pakistani government says that their nuclear weapons are intact, but they have an obligation to reassure the international community that that's the case. And I would urge that the United States use its influence to build a relationship there to make sure that if there's a catastrophe there or a fall on the government, that the United States or its allies has the capacity to work with the government of Pakistan to make sure that these nukes don't in fact get away someplace.
Governor Gilmore, that could be the most important point, to keep an eye on those and the concern over those. Maybe in the next couple of days somebody will, surface a clear name of who we can have those discussions with. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you again.